Joining us now, the Democratic Senator from Virginia, Mark Warner. He's the Vice Chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and he's well briefed on what's going on. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Let me start by asking you about the Secretary of State's assertion. We're talking about Marco Rubio, a man you know well, that this was a law enforcement operation that did not require formal congressional approval. What do you say to that?
Well, listen, I've worked well with Secretary Rubio, but that comment just doesn't pass the smell test. You know, we've had our armada based off the coast of Venezuela. We sent in the Delta Force to take Maduro out with support, as the president indicated, of 150 planes were launched part of this operation. This is a military operation. We all know that. And let's acknowledge on the front end, Maduro out of the country is good. Maduro is a bad guy. Frankly, the Biden administration should have pushed harder when the Venezuelan people voted for the opposition in 2024. But now the question is where we go from here. The idea that we're somehow going to run Venezuela from this fleet offshore, I got real questions about that. We've heard before presidents saying, you know, oh, we're going to have this country pay for the operation. We heard that about Iraq. Venezuelan's oil operation used to be one of the major ones in the world, 4 million barrels a day, down to about 1 million barrels now. It'll take 2 to 3 years to get that operation back up to running at full speed. Are we in there for that long? And I'm particularly concerned, Wolf, one last point for you and Pam, is that what kind of precedent does this set? If we, based upon our laws, can say this individual broke the law, we can go in and extract him, doesn't that give Putin a green light to do the same to Zelensky or Xi to take over China? Where this leads in terms of other authoritarian regimes taking out folks they don't like based upon their own legal standards, that would lead to a completely chaotic order, and frankly, not in the best interest of our country.
And we should point out and remind our viewers that Maduro's capture and arrest stems from an indictment by the Department of Justice. Senator, you say yourself he's a bad guy. So what do you think the Trump administration should have done with respect to Maduro?
Well, listen, I think these kind of actions are better done if, one, you make the case to the American people why it's in our interest, because it clearly was evident from the president's own comments. This wasn't about drugs. It was about getting Venezuelan oil. I'm not sure the vast majority of Americans want troops on the ground or troops in harm's way to try to get another country's oil. It would also, I think, have been helpful if the president had tried to make the case to the region. I mean, we've spent 70 years under Democratic and Republican presidents since about the mid-60s trying to say to that region, listen, we don't want to be an imperial power. We view as partners in Central America and South America. Now that seemed to be all out the window with this reassertion, I guess he's calling it the Donroe Doctrine, where we somehow get to dominate throughout our hemisphere. Now, does that mean Putin gets to dominate throughout Eastern Europe, or Xi gets to dominate through East Asia? Where does this lead? This is back to kind of a 1960s mind frame of spheres of influence. And again, how does that help the American people? And for that matter, how does that help the Venezuelan people? Particularly when you see the president then dismiss the Venezuelan opposition leader, and maybe he was upset with her, Machado, because she won the Nobel Prize, and he's jealous of that, but that should not be a reason to kind of dismiss the one opposition figure that potentially could unite Venezuelans.
So, Senator, what are the main questions that you and your colleagues need answered from the Trump administration about Venezuela at that very sensitive briefing that you're going to be having with them later today?
What does running Venezuela look like? How long are we there for? Is there going to be, are we really going to try to extract enough oil and get ourselves paid for? What kind of, I've got a series of classified questions about what kind of operations, intel operations we have had and going forward. And candidly, again, Maduro, bad guy. The Venezuelan people, I think, overwhelmingly wanted him out. But what are we also going to do in terms of the future of the Venezuelan people? Simply replacing Maduro with another supporter, Rodriguez. In all the briefings I've had, no one ever said Vice President Rodriguez, who is now the interim president, was someone we could work with. Where did this come about from, and what evidence do we have that she could be a viable leader?
The Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez. All right, Senator, thanks so much for joining us. We'll stay in very close touch with you.